The lecture on Serviceology will start. Today's theme is measurement of satisfaction. It is considered a form of psychometrics. Here, we explain the well-known methods for measurement of satisfaction such that surveys and qualitative data and ordinal scales, CSAT and Likert scale, SD method, and biometric measurement. So, let's get started. Services are designed for people, and the main focus is on how to increase their satisfaction. To achieve this, psychological measurement of human satisfaction is necessary. As a preparation for the important topic of service satisfaction measurement, some effective psychological measurement methods will be explained, such as questionnaire with qualitative data, ordinal scales, CSAT with Likert scale, SD method, and biometrics, which is a more challenging measurement method. First, we will explain the basics of questionnaire, as shown in the keywords, focusing on qualitative data, ordinal scales, induction and bias, and evaluation methods. There are two types of data: quantitative data and qualitative data. Quantitative data expresses the amount or state of something using numbers. For example, length in centimeters, mass in kilograms, and temperature at 20 degrees are quantitative data. On the other hand, qualitative data is a qualitative expression and is inherently non-numerical. It is classified as follows: ordinal scale, where the order has meaning, see the right figure. Nominal scale, where the order has no meaning, but the classification or categorization has meaning, such as name, gender, phone number. For example, look at the diagram on the right. For the same dish, people have different preferences, like it, dislike it, or neither. These preferences are assigned the numbers 1, 2, and 3. These numbers are qualitative data. Please note that the difference between 1 centimeter and 2 centimeters on a ruler and the difference between 2 centimeters and 3 centimeters can be mathematically defined, so they are both considered to be the same 1 centimeter. The difference between 1 and 2, or the difference between 2 and 3 in the question above cannot be mathematically defined, so these two differences cannot be considered the same. Therefore, careful consideration must be given to how to ensure the reliability of statistical results, for instance, averages, for qualitative data. This page shows a framework of questionnaire. A framework generally consists of the following items such that: issue. Is it clear and objective? Subject. Who will be surveyed? Hypothesis. Is it reasonable? Purpose. How will the results be used? The issue should clearly state what you want to clarify in your business, such as learning new customer needs or uncovering the cause of a problem. Next, the subject should be appropriate to the issue and be specific. For example, this could include gender, age, occupation, region, and so on. The hypothesis is what ensures the survey is conducted rationally. In most cases, surveys do not reveal the truth, so hypotheses are defined based on considerations that will ensure the survey results are objective and rational. The purpose is also a good idea to decide in advance how the results will be used. Here is a simple example of questionnaire creation. Let's assume that a company wants to build a new food store such as a restaurant, a fast food shop, a supermarket, etc. What factors should be considered? Issue. Identify the relationship between where local residents store and the location of their homes. Subject. Residents living in a specific area, and the distance between them and a restaurant, a fast food shop, and a supermarket located within that area. Hypothesis. Shopping locations depend on proximity. Purpose. If people prefer closer locations, opening new stores in densely populated areas could yield profits. This page describes precautions to take when creating questions. In other words, you should avoid questions that may bias your subjects. This bias refers to the phenomenon where skew, or distortion, occurs, deviating from the true opinion or reality, due to the way questions are phrased, the respondent's psychology, or the survey conditions. Why is bias wrong? Bias distorts reality, leads to poor decision-making, and has a negative impact on businesses and organizations. Bias can lead to bias towards certain opinions or blindness to true needs, resulting in unreliable data, which can lead to failures in market research, product development, personnel evaluations, and more, and result in wasted time and money. This page provides examples of biased questions. The first is leading bias. The question is that, are you satisfied with this product? This question is likely to prompt a positive response from respondents, which may result in a higher satisfaction rating than the actual level. The second is anchoring bias. The question is that product normally costs $500 but is now priced at $400. How much would you pay for it? This question uses the initially presented information as a reference point, anchor, which influences subsequent responses and judgments. There are many other ways to ask questions that can induce bias, so be careful when designing survey questions. There are many methods for analyzing surveys. For numerical data, machine learning is often used, for example, simple statistics, principal component analysis, factor analysis, cluster analysis, etc. For text data, for example, postcoding or text mining is often used. For further details, please look into it yourselves. Next, CSAT will be explained. CSAT is a quantitative way of expressing CS that is expressed through qualitative metrics. Here, CS, be short for customer satisfaction, is an indicator that measures the extent to which the products and services provided by a company meet or exceed customer expectations. Improving this is important for improving corporate activities and the corporate brand. Psychometric measurements such as preferences, subjective opinions, etc. are often used. The Likert scale is often used for CSAT. It is a psychometric scale named after Rensis Likert, who was inventor, American social psychologist, which is commonly used in research questionnaires. It is a scale used in questionnaire surveys to measure people's opinions and emotions, such as the degree of agreement or satisfaction, on a step-by-step basis. For this reason, it is suitable for measuring ordinal scales of qualitative data. In this figure, the qualitative expressions of very dissatisfied, dissatisfied, neutral, satisfied, and very satisfied are expressed by numbers from 1 to 5. This page shows examples of Likert scale. The first question is this brand's design outstanding? The second question is, would you recommend the hotel you stayed at to a friend? Both are common questions. Please note that it is said that subjects with a conservative personality tend to choose option 3. As a result, the number of scores of 3 will increase, and the significance of this measurement will decrease. Therefore, it is said that it is better to use a 4-point rating scale to clearly show trends in good and bad. Next, SD method will be described. SD is short for semantic differential. S means meanings, and D means difference, invented by C.E. Osgood. It is a psychological method for measuring the image or impression of a certain object such as service, product, brand, and etc. A key feature is that multiple pairs of opposing adjectives, or adverbs, are provided for each question item. In this table, negative keywords are listed on the left and their opposites, positive keywords, are listed on the right. The meanings of these opposites are rated on a 5-point scale. As an example of the SD method, let's consider the impression evaluation of a mobile robot. On the right is a photo of a mobile robot. The specifications of this robot are: it is 60 centimeters square, 70 centimeters tall, and weighs 20 kilograms. The robot is equipped with a battery, motor, computer, communication device, and camera. It can move autonomously, avoiding obstacles. The camera is located at the top and can see in all directions, recognizing obstacles. This table is used as questions to evaluate the impression of this robot. In this experiment, a 7-point scale is used to look more closely at the degree of impression. Also, please note that positive impressions are placed on the left and negative impressions on the right. And many pairs of these are prepared. Please watch the following video. A mobile robot moves as if it were a playing puppy. After watching the video, answer the same questions as above. This example is taken from the following paper. The paper shows the results of an experiment on 18 subjects. The results are shown. Please note that in the following scores, the score on the right represents negative impressions. The blue mark represents the impression before watching the video, i.e., based on only the still image. The pink mark represents the impression after watching the video. From this, we can see that impressions change to positive when watching the robot's movements. Let's have discussion on the results. For many people, after watching the video, the results shift to the left, i.e., the impression changes to a more positive one. What this means is that when people first see the still image, they are likely to get a strong sense of the machine's metallic feel and have a cold impression. When they then watch the video, some people are likely to get a warmer impression, closer to a living organism than to the metallic feel. In this way, it is true that movements form impressions, and this can be discussed within the scope of nonverbal communication. There is a trick in this experiment. Prior to showing the video, the subjects were psychologically induced by being told, "The video will demonstrate movements similar to those of a playful puppy." Please note that this bias to induce will not lead to correct results. Next theme is biometric measurement. Psychological measurements based on language, such as questionnaires and interviews, are inevitably subject to errors due to psychological biases and anchoring. Furthermore, memory loss over time can lead to misunderstandings. Biometric measurement can be considered to address these issues, but here are some important points to consider when using it. When it comes to biometric measurements, the ones you often see are the electroencephalogram, EEG, measurement on the left, the electromyography, EMG, measurement in the middle, and the gaze measurement on the right. No detailed explanations will be given here, just some simple notes. EEG is a very small voltage such as microvolt, is sensitive to noise, and cannot move around. It is difficult to identify specific areas of the brain. EMG is difficult to pinpoint exactly which muscles are responding. The impedance at the interface between the sensor and the skin is problematic. In gaze measurement, conducting fixational eye movement and microsaccade is difficult. And the gaze does not necessarily indicate conscious attention. For these reasons, the application of biometrics to measure customer satisfaction requires considerable caution, and the results are difficult to do justice to. As a result, questionnaires or interviews are still commonly used to measure customer satisfaction. Thank you for watching. This lecture ends here. Please watch for the next lecture. The URL for the next lecture is listed in the description box of the opening lecture, whose URL is in this description box. If you like this lecture, please subscribe to my channel.